In 2019, a 47-year-old Japanese man battling stage 4 colon cancer was fighting through freezing conditions as he neared the top of Mount Fuji. He decided to climb the mountain during the off-season, with no experience, no proper equipment, no winter clothes, and no plan in place. However, what made his situation unique was not his inability to prepare for the mountain, but rather his decision to live stream the entire climb. The man, Tetsu Shiohara, originally began the stream at the base of the mountain, but it would finish with him filming his own death. This is his story. Tetsu Shiohara lived alone in a small apartment on the island of Shikoku. He was known for being a bit of a drifter. The 47-year-old spent some time in America learning, but after he moved back to Japan, he would fail the bar exam several times. This caused him to become even more of a recluse, distancing himself from family and friends as he felt unfulfilled with his life. This is a key reason why Tetsu, or as he was known online, Tetsu, began live streaming in 2015 and spending more time in the outdoors, even taking up some mountaineering projects. Tetsu would film his lifestyle and day-to-day activities, including going to the hospital because of his diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer. There was one viewer in particular who continuously encouraged Tetsu. Her name was Sawatan, and in 2017 the duo would climb Mount Fuji successfully. After their attempt, Sawatan would continue to encourage Tetsu to climb, and he became a regular climber of the peak, reaching its summit each summer season. Mount Fuji may appear serene from a distance, with its perfect cone rising above the clouds, like an ancient guardian at 3,776 meters. However, as you get closer, you begin to sense its energy. Travelers often describe an eerie stillness on its slopes. A silence so profound it feels intentional, as if the mountain is observing them. For centuries, Fuji has been worshipped, feared, and mythologized. And for good reason. It is an active volcano resting beneath a thin layer of calm. During the official climbing season, early July through September, it is one of the most visited mountains in the world. The routes are well developed with huts and campsites along the climb, making it beginner-friendly. Climbing outside this season without permission is illegal. Despite this, the US Embassy notes that some climbers still try to scale the mountain, adding that every year a number of climbers, including Americans, are killed while attempting to climb Mount Fuji. Off-season climbers risk sudden blizzards, disappearing trails, and freezing winds that can turn small mistakes into serious situations. Even during the official climbing season, altitude sickness, falling rocks, and exhaustion can pose significant challenges on the path to the summit. Many climbers report that when the sun sets and the temperature drops, they feel an unsettling pressure, as though the mountain is testing their resolve. Just 3 days before the end of the climbing season, on September 7, 2019, Tetsu completed a climb of Mount Fuji, reaching its summit. A month later, on October 23rd, he was live streaming while riding his bike home after a hospital appointment, when a viewer mentioned they would like to see the view from the summit of Mount Fuji in the winter. The mountain had just received a fresh layer of snow, and the temperatures at the summit were well below freezing. While Tetsu had experienced climbing the peak in the summer, he had always done so on man-made paths and in good weather. He had not developed the technical climbing skills needed when climbing off-trail through snow. Tetsu knew this, but the comment had planted an idea in his head, and for some reason, Tetsu would not give it up. He began planning a climb of the peak in winter conditions. During the summer season, there are 10 stations leading to the summit of the peak. However, during the off-season, anything above Station 5 is closed. Only climbers with special permission are allowed to ascend beyond these stations, as unlike in the summer, you will be on your own. There is no assistance available for oxygen, campsites, clothing, or food. Climbers must bring their own supplies. The lower levels of the mountain that remain open to the public are free of snow, and the routes are easy to follow, creating a false sense of security regarding the dangers of climbing. However, as you approach the summit, the terrain becomes significantly steeper, and freezing temperatures can lead to ice forming on the paths. This makes the use of crampons necessary for safe climbing. The high altitude slopes present a very different challenge compared to the lower levels of the mountain. On October 28, 2019, Tetsu set off from Tokyo, intending to climb Mount Fuji during the winter. He planned to take the Yoshida Trail, which is the most popular route on the mountain. By mid-morning, he reached Station 5 and prepared to ascend to the summit as quickly as possible, with the goal of descending the same day. At 10:30 a.m., he began a stream titled "Let's Go to Snowy Mount Fuji." In his stream, Tetsu first mentioned that his gloves were neither windproof nor waterproof, and his ears were already cold. He also realized that wearing jeans and lightweight hiking boots may not have been the best choice. At 10:42 a.m., he entered the Yoshida Trail, ignoring signs indicating that it was closed and deciding to push forward anyways. As Tetsu climbed, he could only see a few feet in front of him due to a heavy layer of mist. The ground was moist beneath his feet, but so far the weather was not causing him any significant issues. Tetsu consistently noted during the stream that he intended to make a quick ascent because he wanted to return home as soon as possible. He believed that staying there was not a good idea, making additional comments about his inexperience in the snow. One of his viewers even asked if he had brought crampons, to which he admitted that he had forgotten to bring them. At 11:07, he passed the 6th station and continued his conversation with viewers as he climbed. He mentioned that he hadn't eaten and only had frozen green tea, which seems unusual. As an experienced Mount Fuji climber, he should have known that the huts would be closed. By 11:35, he reached the 7th station and encountered a man and a woman on the trail. At this point, there were only 5 hours of sunlight left, and he must reach the summit by 2 p.m. Otherwise, he won't have enough time to descend before it gets dark. And as he resumed climbing, he noticed a significant difference in the amount of snow on the trail. Nearly 2 hours later, at 1:19 p.m., Tetsu reached the 8th station. At this point, he was completely alone and had not seen anyone on the peak for hours. The terrain had changed from icy rock to deep layers of heavy snow all around him. He even makes the comment that he is slipping on the snow. Over the next 30 to 40 minutes, Tetsu would continue climbing, but the route became more dangerous by each step. Without crampons or an ice axe, it became nearly impossible to push higher. The wind howled around him and nipped at his ears, chilling his bones to his core. The path seemed to get smaller and smaller the further he walked, and all guidelines and ropes were long gone. Yet Tetsu still exerted a false confidence to his viewers, but anyone watching could see right through it. At 2:15 p.m., Tetsu is climbing a route that is void of any other human life. His fingers had gone numb a long time ago, and the sense of doubt was growing larger by the minute, creating a knot in his stomach. Even with the pain, Tetsu continued to take off his gloves to ensure that he remained live streaming every few minutes. Shortly after, he would reach the final stretch to the summit, but the path is covered in over 3 feet of snow at a nearly 30-degree angle. The wind continues to howl around him, and as viewers watch, some swear they hear the mountain utter a word to him. Konaide, which translates to "don't come." Many saw this as an omen that Tetsu should turn around while he still could. He complained every few steps about the conditions on the mountain, yet he continued to push forward. What he did not realize is that even if he made it to the top, descending the peak without the proper gear would be even more difficult than the climb up. Ahead of him, the path began to descend, and as the ropeway ended, Tetsu nearly fell on the ice. He laughs it off until he slips again. Despite his struggles, he pauses and takes a photo with his phone. Something many find to be absurd given the circumstances. Just a few moments later, he continued to walk past the ropes, completely at the mercy of the mountain. As he walked, he made the comment, "Dangerous here too. It's a bit slippery," but he would never get to finish his sentence. as what followed was all caught on camera for everyone to see. At 2:30 p.m., Tetsu slipped and reported his fall down the slope of Mount Fuji, only turning off after his phone hit a rock and disconnected. Viewers of his stream contacted police, and a search party was quickly organized and sent out. Thankfully, his parents, who had been watching most of the stream, had turned it off just 10 minutes before their son slipped. For 2 days, a rescue team, including helicopters, looked for any sign of Tetsu, but the first search brought on nothing. This is until one rescue unit found a body below Station 7 over 48 hours after the fall. The body was so badly damaged they could not even tell the gender, as only the upper half remained. But everyone knew deep down who it was. 13 days later, they received confirmation. It was Tetsu. He had fallen 700 meters, making it impossible for him to survive. Although we know what happened to Tetsu, there was still speculation and questions around why he climbed the mountain, and more importantly, why he climbed so obviously unprepared. Some even alluding to the lack of preparation being intentional for darker reasons. Whatever your belief, Tetsu's story is a stark reminder of the dangers of ignoring all the warning signs, even when climbing a mountain that is beginner friendly. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Please like and subscribe if you want to see additional content like this. Until next time.